Nestled in the rugged southern reaches of Russia lies Dagestan, a tapestry of diverse cultures and traditions, woven together by a majority Muslim population. The culture of Dagestan praises physical strength and toughness, having a hyper-masculine ideal that praises emphasis on athletic prowess, formed by harsh realities of the mountain life. It's one where fighting is deeply rooted and encouraged from a young age.
Rich or poor, city kid or village boy, many are brought to these wrestling schools by their parents, who are worried about their future in what is known to be a turbulent part of Russia.
One coach embarked on a personal mission to provide training to the local youth. Khabib Nurmagomedov was a towering figure in his community, taking the mantle of mentor and father figure to countless young men through his coaching in the art of wrestling.
My job is to prepare people so they'll be useful for society. Those people who destroy our society and what we have built, we will always fight against them.
A veteran of the military and a champion in both judo and sambo, Khabib devoted himself to developing future champions. Among his proudest achievements was his son Khabib, whom he molded from a young age into a fighter of uncommon discipline and skill.
So how old were you here, Khabib?
9.
You're 9.
You know what father told me here?
What did he tell you?
I tell him, he tried to bite me. He say, bite him back.
At the tender age of 11, Khabib was chosen to join a select group of boys who were taken under Khabib's wing and subjected to a rigorous training and education regimen, all in pursuit of creating world-class athletes.
Like I remember, I grew up in very small village with very poor life, you know. My father, he sell our house and he bring me, my brother, my cousins, like it was like almost 15 people from village to capital city. We all was living together, going school, come back, training, come back. Just father tried to invest everything what he have, time, energy, money, all his life he was doing, he was investing people. We have the goal, you know, it's like become unified.
During this period, Islam Makhachev relocated to the mountainous villages, where he soon realized he needed to gain the respect and recognition of the local youth.
У местных ребят было какое-то понятие, что вот городские типа слабые или что-то такое, и постоянно и часто приходилось такие тяжелые условия создают настоящих мужчин.
Islam rapidly discovered that boys of his age were pursuing wrestling as a discipline, and it was during this time that he learned of the prominent local coach Abdul Manap.
Возьмем Ислам Махач, он пришел во 2 классе. Сейчас он 20 лет. Вместе дома, с семьей, на сборах, на соревнованиях. Могут быть во всем такие отношения? Нет. Это уже больше, чем ученик и тренер.
Узнал, что Кhabib тренируется у своего отца. И я пришел в зал, увиделся с Khabibом, так можно тоже буду ходить, и начали где-то.
Under Abdul Manap's guidance, Islam rapidly ascended the ranks in his class. It was in the crucible of rigorous training and intense competition that Islam formed a strong bond with Khabib, eventually becoming consistent training partners and close friends. At the age of 17, Khabib experienced his only loss, which fueled a fire and drove him to greater heights. The early amateur career of Khabib was a testament to his dominance, as he plowed through his opponents with his signature wrestling style. Islam Makhachev too proved to be a force to be reckoned with Abdul Manap as their guiding coach and mentor in their corners. In 2012, the UFC took notice of Khabib's potential, signing him to the roster.
At that time, it was no fighter in UFC from Russia.
I watch everything, all message, like I read everything, like, and I watch like people say like he's only 23 years old, but we don't think that he's UFC level. And I think no, I'm gonna show these guys.
I remember when he first came to AKA, he had his phone, right? Barely spoke English, and he would play me this audio of Bruce Buffer introducing him in his UFC debut. And we would listen to it every day in the gym, and he would tell me, DC, one day I'm gonna be undefeated, undisputed champion, and I'm gonna make loads of money. And we would say, oh, you're out of your mind.
Islam got signed to the UFC in 2015. Abdul Manap's vision for the two young fighters was to become UFC champions, a goal that seemed within reach until Islam got TKO'd only within his second fight in the UFC. Despite a setback for Islam, he wasn't ready to give up. Khabib earned the nickname the Eagle and became a formidable presence in the UFC's lightweight division, easily defeating top contenders such as Rafael dos Anjos, Michael Johnson, and Edson Barboza. He was given the opportunity to compete for the vacant lightweight title against Al Iaquinta. Unfortunately, Abdul Manap was unable to attend a majority of his son's UFC matches. This was due to visa-related issues, and he had to observe from afar.
All my team here without my father. This everything because of my father. Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much, father. Call my father, talk with him a little bit about what I make mistakes.
I call him after fight right away. I call him and he beginning to talk about my mistakes, what I make inside the fight. Okay, you don't wanna say nothing to me? He say, it was good job, just come back, we have to keep training.
In a historic moment, Khabib successfully defended his title against Conor McGregor in one of the biggest UFC pay-per-view events to date.
Did you not see me right in front of you outside the fucking bus? But why you come with 40 people? 100% you know I'm here is with alone or one guy, two guys. You come with 40 people. When the person you are looking for showed up, you took a shit on the back of a bus. If you would have got off that bus, you'd be dead now. No, okay. You'd be dead and I'd be in a cell.
Kadyrov is a Chechen dictator, crazy man, don't get me wrong. Khabib's father, lick arse of fucking Houlihan. Post a picture of Kadyrov at this mosque. The caption is, together we are stronger. It's such fake respect out of fear. The Chechen people know that if the tables were turned and there was an opportunity for his father to stab that man in the back, he would do it in a heartbeat.
You know, only evil can talk about your father, like wife, kids, religion.
In the press conference, you stared into Khabib's eyes. What did you see when you looked in his eyes?
His eyeballs turn to glass. The blood rushes from his body and sprints out of his arse. So that's what I saw.
You're saying
another man
the blood
froze,
went from his body and shot out of his rectum. That's what you're saying.
Yes, projectile.
Yeah. Does he fear you?
Yes. Yes, 100%.
The idea that we should be shocked after him throwing a dolly at a bus because Khabib's on the bus, those Russians don't fucking play like that, man.
The lead up to the anticipated bout between Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov was marked by intense verbal sparring and personal jabs, and to this date is the highest sold pay-per-view event, solidifying it as one of the most hyped and highly publicized events in the history of the UFC. The bout was dominated by Khabib, who established control from the outset and executed multiple takedowns over the course of the fight. He was dominant in the first 2 rounds, even dropping McGregor with a powerful overhand right. McGregor demonstrated some resilience in the 3rd round, keeping Khabib at bay. The 4th round saw McGregor get taken down and dominated, and eventually submitted by his opponent. Khabib secured a submission victory via neck crank, compelling McGregor to tap out and bringing an end to the fight.
Okay, when I catch his neck and I choke him, like he tap, you know, like, and I think, hey, you bring like thousands of people from Ireland here on different part of world, and you tap in front and like, and you talk about like about warrior or something like this. How you can tap? Go sleep, go sleep.
Ну и сегодня я в прямом эфире пригласил и Конора.
Да.
Да, я сделал такое заявление, пригласил Конора в гости. И почему бы, значит, ему не посетить Дагестан?
На самом деле его простили?
Да.
Вот. Абсолютно.
Вот, понимаете, вот...
За те оскорбления. Вот.
Нет, это все прошлое. Нельзя останавливаться, жизнь продолжается. И наша религия должна показать милосердие не на словах, а на деле.
1 year later, Khabib returned to the octagon with his father by his side, facing off against a resilient and unorthodox striker Dustin Poirier. Despite Poirier's aggressive fighting style, Khabib secured a submission victory in the 3rd round. Khabib's father jumped for joy as he won, Sadly, this was Abdulmanap's final time witnessing his son compete in the UFC. The loss of Abdulmanap was a devastating blow to Khabib's family and the people of Dagestan.
Father is not with me, you know. It's very hard time right now staying here and talk about him. You know, it's very emotional for me. But
I was so worried as to what could possibly happen because you know how big a part of his life his father was. And honestly, Khabib's not a person that reaches out much to say, I need your help with anything. He's a strong man.
Ну, я не знаю, это не описать словами, какая-то потеря. Это, наверное, не как-то вот почувствовал проход, а это будет на протяжении всей карьеры какая-то пустота. У нас и в зале вот сейчас так. У нас нету этого человека, который может заменить.
Every man has another man that he can turn to. One day you wake up, you make that phone call, nobody's going to answer. And you got to figure that out on your own.
So now the fact that obviously your dad's no longer that leader in your life, the person that takes it that you have to respect the most out of anybody in the world is your mother.
His mother. When this happened with father, I talk with my mother and we make decision with her like it's gonna be like last fight.
Khabib choked out Justin Gaethje in his final fight, and for the first time the world openly saw him grieve the loss of his beloved father, coach and mentor.
At that time my dream became true, but without my father.
For Islam Makhachev, the one defeat remains a solitary blemish on an otherwise impeccable record, boasting an 11-fight win streak in the UFC. Along the way, he has vanquished notable fighters such as Dan Hooker and Bobby Green. In the wake of Khabib's retirement, he stepped up and assumed the mantle of coach, replacing his father.
Now Khabib retired, but he pushed all guys from team. Sometimes he pushed too much.
Okay, you finish your fight. 1 week you rest, after that you have to come to the gym and improve yourself all the time, always, not only in training camp.
Everything about discipline, and every day, train, sleep, eat, repeat.
With unwavering dedication, Khabib committed himself to fulfilling his late father's mission of seeing Islam become the UFC lightweight champion.
But before he passed away, did you talk about the end of your career?
No, we never talk about this. But he told me, I don't remember, when you're gonna finish, you finish and Islam come, it's have to be like on the same time.
Islam right now is like 10 win streak in UFC, one of the biggest win streak in UFC history. Why I talk about Islam? Because this is my father's legacy.
Islam was given the chance to compete for the lightweight title against the highly regarded Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira is recognized for his well-rounded skill set, encompassing exceptional proficiency in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and grappling, coupled with formidable striking skills and knockout power. He has a noteworthy reputation as a finisher, with a significant portion of his victories achieved through submissions. Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev are both highly regarded fighters, and the bout was seen as an important test for both men. The fight was dominated by Islam, who landed some significant strikes early and used his grappling abilities to control Charles for much of the bout. Islam was able to take Charles down a number of times and effectively neutralized Charles' striking and submission game. He seized the opportunity, dispatching Oliveira with a stunning arm triangle in the second round. Khabib looked on with pride as the lightweight championship changed hands, a title he had never lost, but one that his father had envisioned for his fellow student. Islam was tasked with restoring hope to their people, and it was only a matter of time before the championship belt was returned to Dagestan. To Khabib, Islam's success came at no surprise. Khabib fully embraced his father's grand mission, one that went beyond personal triumph for himself and Islam, but aimed to offer a beacon of hope for the children of Dagestan and inspire a new generation to achieve greatness. Both he and Islam continue to serve their community and live with a higher purpose, giving back to others.
Be an example for your kids. This is very important. Lot of parents, like a lot of fathers, they just told their sons, okay, don't go there, don't do this, be on this way. No, you have to be on good way, and your son gonna follow you, or your daughter gonna follow you. Your kids gonna follow you. Just be example for your kids.